In the high-speed world of Formula One, where split-second decisions determine legacies, one race changed everything. But what if I told you that behind the roar of the engines and the champagne celebrations, a hidden scandal almost tore the sport apart? Today, we're diving into the most controversial, secretive, and career-ending conspiracy in F1 history. This isn't about what happened on the track. It's about what was planned before the lights even went out. This is the story of Crashgate. A crash that seemed accidental. A team strategy that looked like genius. And a driver who would later admit he was ordered to crash on purpose. But what if I told you that wasn't even the craziest part? It was the 2008 Singapore Grand Prix, the first ever night race in F1 history. The Marina Bay circuit, glittering under thousands of lights, was ready to make history. Nelson Piquet Jr., a young and relatively inexperienced driver for Renault, spun out on lap 14. His car hit the wall, the safety car came out, and somehow, his teammate, Fernando Alonso, who had just pitted moments earlier, found himself perfectly positioned to take the lead. Alonso went on to win the race. It looked like a brilliant stroke of luck, but for some watching closely, the timing was just too perfect. How could a crash at just the right moment hand Alonso the win on a silver platter? The paddock began to buzz. Whispers turned to theories. Could a team really ask a driver to crash on purpose to help another win? Fast forward almost a year. Piquet Jr. was dropped from the Renault team after a disappointing season. But in a move no one saw coming, he dropped a bombshell on the sport. He claimed that Flavio Briatore, the team principal, and Pat Symonds, the chief engineer, had ordered him to crash deliberately, to trigger a safety car, to give Alonso the advantage. And most shockingly, he agreed. The FIA launched an investigation, and what they found was damning. Piquet's crash was not only intentional, it was coordinated. The telemetry, the radio transcripts, the timing of Alonso's pit stop, everything lined up. Briatore and Symonds were both forced out of the sport. Renault was given a suspended ban, and the phrase Crashgate was born. But here's what most people don't know. What really happened behind the scenes in that meeting room before the race? Why would a young driver agree to risk his life for a strategic advantage? And was Fernando Alonso really in the dark? Piquet was fighting for his future. He was under immense pressure. Briatore was not just his team boss, he was also his personal manager. Imagine your job and your career both resting in the hands of the same person. When the plan was presented, Piquet later claimed he was naive and under pressure. But others in the paddock weren't so forgiving. Was it pressure or complicity?
Throughout the investigation, Alonso maintained he had no knowledge of the plan, and officially he was cleared, but many fans and insiders remained skeptical. After all, how often does a driver pit unusually early, just before a perfectly timed safety car hands them the lead? Did Alonso benefit from the conspiracy? Absolutely. But did he know? That remains one of F1's most debated mysteries. Flavio Briatore was banned indefinitely from the sport, though he later won a legal appeal to lift the ban. Symonds also faced a suspension. Renault's reputation took a massive hit, and Piquet Jr.'s career never recovered. Alonso? He went on to win more races and world championships. But for many, the Singapore GP win in 2008 will always have an asterisk. If a team can orchestrate a crash and nearly get away with it, what else might be happening behind the scenes in F1 today? Are there other races where strategy crosses the line into sabotage? What you just heard was the conspiracy they caught, but what about the ones that slipped through the cracks? If you thought this was wild, wait until you hear about the time Ferrari secretly used team orders to decide a championship, and how the FIA covered it up. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Until then, stay curious.